Hello and welcome to Node Nerds, Gamel's internet talk show for computerized long-arm quilters. Today, the Gamel education team is talking about our favorite functions in CreativeStudio. We're showing you the functions we love, why we love them, and how they can help you level up your quilting. So let's start with Mr. Tucker. What is your favorite function in CreativeStudio?
I would have to say, aside from all of them, I think the function that I use quite often when I'm working with customer quilts is repeat patterns, because I know I can speak for me personally, but I get a lot of quilts from customers that are far from straight. And in repeat patterns, you have a lot more flexibility with the amount of boundaries you can draw each time you advance your quilt. So you can account for that little bit of wonk per se. And also too, it's great because I do a lot of deeply nested patterns, right? So I can add extra patterns to my whole entire CAD screen and do all the filling, that it fits inside that boundary. For me, it just makes my quilting look and in my brain feel a lot more uniform when I pull that quilt off the frame and hang it up and send it back to the customer. Mhm.
I like repeat patterns too. I think it's more efficient sometimes than edge to edge, I think. Um, what about
And it
you,
just
Ava?
depends what pattern. Ooh.
Yeah. What about you, Ava? What's your favorite function in
My
Creative?
favorite, well, it's a tough one, but I
It's a
decided to
hard
choose.
question to ask, I
It
know.
is. There's so many, but one of my favorite ones is circular array for the simple fact that you never know what you're going to get. You can take a simple shape that you draw and um, or even an existing pattern and play with circular array. And it's amazing to me how then once you add how many elements you're choosing within your circular array, then you can see, oh, I can add this, by adding to this design. So the options are endless. And that's why I like that. And then, of course, if you uncheck connect, then you can take the blue circle that's in the center. And that's the feature within circular array that works really well if you're trying to create a design to fit into a specific space, or, and to make it really fit that specific block. So I love it.
It's
I
really
like,
fun
wait,
creating.
hang on, sorry. I like the blue, doing the uncheck and then doing the blue thing. And then I just make it go the opposite way just to see like what it would look like. I love doing that. It's just fun to play with.
Well, the only thing is you have to be careful if you uncheck the connect, that you really, it may look super cool, but it's not necessarily, stitchable, at least not continuously, which sometimes that's okay.
Yeah, you know me. I just connect the nodes.
I sometimes use circular array and then get it all connected and then pop it into repeat patterns um, for like a fun, fast edge to edge design. Certainly when I can't find things that are speaking to the quilts I'm working on, that's a fun way to sort of get outside your box because you don't know what you're going to get when you start playing.
Exactly.
I think with circular array, that's one of the functions that I can get into a terrible rabbit hole with. I could spend hours losing myself just, oh, let's see what it'll do now. Oh, let's see what it'll do now. Or what this one will do. Oh, it's just, yeah, it's fun to play with.
I made the mistake of doing circular array in front of a customer once, and then she wanted to play too. So it was like a very deep rabbit hole. What about you, Angela? What's your favorite function in Creative
Oh
Studio?
gosh. unlike the rest of you guys, I don't know, like there's so many because you often use them in combination, right? So it's like I like one because of the other, but I think when I was first starting out, I think my favorite was pattern to boundary because it just seemed magical to me. Like it was so fun that I could just draw my boundary and then I could pick my pattern and it would, drop it into the place, and then all I had to do was do minor adjustments to fit it in the actual quilt block or boundary or any sashing, anything like that. Like when you draw a boundary and you pick something, and it at least gets you partway to fitting it in nicely. So when I was first starting to do custom quilting, I think that was my favorite. I still use it all the time actually when I'm custom quilting because you can outline certain areas of the quilt and drop it in. The other reason why I love it is because I mock up a lot of my stuff. So it's a very quick way to mock up your quilts because you can just like create your boundaries and then very quickly drop everything in there, and then it's easy to export and send to your client. So I think if I had to, yeah, I guess it's my favorite. It's one of my heavily used ones, let's say that.
That
I
was
like
my
that.
biggest aha moment when I first learned the Statler. You wouldn't believe, because I knew nothing. Um, I would, spend forever dragging the pattern over into my area and then finagling. And it, of course, was no longer centered at this point, and the time I spent, I thought, you spent all this money. There has to be an easier way. So, when I do an educator consult for new people, 45-day consults, I always make sure I, point out pattern to boundary, and you see the same aha or duh moment on their face when they realize how easy it is to use it.
It does seem like magic, doesn't it, Ava?
It does.
I'm realizing I'm a very inefficient quilter. I prefer to drag the patterns on and play with the sizing and do that. Like I do everything the long manual way because I love to play with the pattern so much. So anyway.
No, I mean,
I know
that's
everyone's
the way of
different.
doing
It's
it
just,
too.
Mhm.
Yeah. For me, I want to try and get that custom done ASAP.
which makes sense, but no, I'm just gonna drag it over there and spend all my time.
It's it wasn't until I started teaching for Gamble that I was more efficient about using pattern to boundary.
Mhm.
And I think realizing that it puts it right in the center, and that like getting it right in the center, our eyes can tell when it's just a little bit off. So when
That's true.
when it's perfect the first time, and then grabbing onto your center rulers, that makes keep it there. That was my aha moment that
Mhm.
just
I
use
should
that
use it
first.
more.
Quit being so stubborn.
I should use it more.
What about you, Kat?
Right.
What's your favorite?
So mine is convert. And I'm going to go with like the most used because obviously nodes is my favorite, but that nodes aren't really a function, I guess. But yeah, convert. I use it a gazillion times a day. I do a lot of custom quilting. And so I like to have the patterns that I've used on the screen, but I don't want to like accidentally stitch them or have them turn black and, then the machine head's going over here. So I convert patterns to a boundary and back all the time. And I have a bad habit of being in one quilt group. Like I could just separate and have different quilt groups, but as I said, I like to do everything the long, hard way. So I will say like have the center block pattern, and then I'll move it off to the side, convert it to a boundary, then do the sashing, move that off to the side, convert it to a boundary, then take the center block pattern, convert it back to a pattern, put it in place. And I just did that all day long, back and forth, back and forth. And when I'm creating designs, like digitizing from scratch, I use convert a lot as well, because I'll have my first draft, like, I think I like it, but what if I tweak this and this? But I don't want to lose that first draft in case I'm wrong. So I'll make a copy of it, put it over here, convert it to boundary, and then do the second draft and third draft and da da da. And I just delete the ones I know I don't like anymore as I go along. So yeah, I use it all the time.
I really like apply pattern. That's the one that I've been using on the quilt I've got on the frame right now. It's like Tucker's quilt, some of Tucker's quilts, Tucker's customer quilts. I don't have very many straight ones that come in. And so when I'm trying to get borders or piano keys or words in a space, it's really nice to draw a line and then apply that pattern to the line. And it just puts it in there. And it doesn't always put it in there perfectly, but it gives me a place to start manipulating. It does a lot of that work for me, and then I can go in to the nodes and adjust. And so I've been using apply pattern a lot on this quilt, and it's amazing how fast it does those calculations for you. I also do it when I'm chunking a border. I do that a lot. I'll draw the line and then just apply the pattern. And that was a trick Angela taught me. We were doing pearls, I think. And she said, you can just connect from where you ended until where you ended before, draw the line and pop those pearls in. And it works beautifully every time. And it saves you the time of having to turn the quilt. I usually turn the quilts for borders and sashings and stuff, long ones. But when they're little, apply pattern is the way to go, I've decided. So apply pattern is mine, but I think like all of you, you use it in conjunction with all the functions.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
I think they're pretty, it's a pretty powerful program, which is what is so cool about it, is that it does all this magic for us to save our brains and save our time.
Apply pattern is my favorite way to do sashings. It's so fast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a really great way to get your sashings in there.
And like you said, you always are going to use that then with draw line. So you're using the two things in conjunction with each other.
Yeah.
But talking about magic, I'm just going to step off topic for a second. Tucker, the quilt behind you, the red dashing, is it crystals? Is it stitching? What is it?
The red stitching behind me on this quilt, this is hand stitching or big stitch quilting. So it's done with embroidery thread. There will be an episode of Latest Thread coming out at some point about this quilt. So be sure to tune into that.
Okay.
To find out the details.
I love it. Little cross promotion. Well, it's really cool. Sorry. I've been staring at it this whole time going, is that hand stitching? Is it hot fix crystals? I just can't tell from here. So way cool.
Thank you.
I like, lately I've been doing a lot of text in my borders. I have a couple ladies who make quilts to hang in their churches, and they put verses in the borders. And so of course the borders aren't ever straight. And so it's nice to draw a line, the reality of the border,
right?
And pop that text, apply the text to the line. That's a really cool function. And so it's kind of like apply pattern, I guess. That's been another one I've been doing a lot lately. Seems like magic every time because it just fits perfectly, centered, great.
And like you said, like it accommodates for the not like perfectly straight lines, borders, sashings, whatever they are.
Right. And it like I said, it doesn't always get it perfect the first time, but it does a lot of the work for you. So when it gives you a really good place to start doing those manual adjustments with your rulers and nodes. And then you're, halfway there, or sometimes even more than halfway there, depending on how complicated your pattern is.
Yeah, sometimes I think you just need that starting point. You just need to get something on the screen so you can just go.
Right.
For me, that's usually, we're talking about like imperfect, getting things in imperfect. I guess my second favorite would be draw boundary, because well, A, I need it for my favorite pattern to boundary. But B, I just draw boundaries around everything so that I can see exactly where those patterns need to stay within. Excellent set of eyes. I consider them my second set of eyes. I need to stay within these areas and not overlap and account for some of that, imperfect thing that we're talking about. So I guess that would be my second favorite.
Anybody else have a second favorite or a close favorite that you couldn't decide?
I don't know. I
second-
think it changes when, depending on every single quilt you work on, right? You could have a quilt and you're using edge to edge, or you could be doing something custom where you are using all of the drawing tools. But I think it's great that Creative Studio is so user intuitive that you can flip flop back and forth, and all of the features become your favorite because they're so easy to use, right? So.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's like, I'd say very few that that I like never use or hardly ever use. There's always, well, except for pattern of boundaries. Sorry, Aunt.
It's
I just have
okay.
to drag them on there. But there's almost always a situation to use them all, and you're gonna end up loving more than just one.
I find that there are some that I use in SAM that I never use at the, at the machine head.
Mm.
Like what?
I think like Echo is one that I do in SAM that I don't do very much at the machine. And now that I've said it, I'm thinking of, I just did it at the machine yesterday. So what am I talking about? But I tend to draw more in SAM than I do at the machine. But yeah, no, it's just such a powerful. Our software is so powerful and intuitive. It's just great. I mean, I've used a lot of different types of software and for long arming, and Creative Studio is like head and shoulders above what you can do, how easy you can do it. The whole thing is my favorite, I have to say. I guess with that, we'll wrap it up for this episode of Node Nerds. Tune in next time. If you haven't signed up for the newsletter, that's where you'll find us first. And with that, we'll say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
See you later.